The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
No!
Oh, there we go. It is time for the F word. Anybody got a favorite F word? Mike? Anybody? Family. There we go. Well, tonight, family is the first F word of the night because, we are family. oh, that was bad. But, Greg, you're family to me already just because of getting to know you in this short time. But, Greg, how do we say your last name?
It is Zanone.
Zanone.
You can say it however you want, but Zanone. Zanone, my father said it was Zanoni when we were young and then changed it. So if you can change it, anyone can change it.
That's right. Zanone. Well, Siri doesn't say it that way. Siri says Zinone. So I didn't want to mess it up.
Zinone. I'll take it.
That's right. But tonight, on the F word, so family, we have some special guests. Did somebody else just join us? Angela?
I'm here.
Hi, nice to meet you. Everybody, okay. I'm Cathy. We haven't had the chance to talk ahead of time, so I feel really bad. But I'm up here in Minneapolis. Where are you located right now?
Atlanta.
Oh, okay, Mike Darrow is on here with us. Mike Darrow's in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And then we have Greg Zanone, and he's over in Newport Beach, California. And then everybody, we have Angela Stanton, right?
Yes, Dan.
There we go. In Atlanta. And wait a minute, a real housewife of I can't talk of Atlanta. I love it. I love that show. So welcome. I'm really happy to have you here. I heard you wrote a new book.
I did. Business with Prejudice, Reality and Truth, which is available now.
Wow, that is crazy. Where can we go to get it? Is it on Amazon?
It's on Amazon. It's also in your Barnes & Noble stores, and it's available on my website, StantonPublishingHouse.com.
So when you have a publishing house, are you able to have, pretty much anybody come to you, or how do you work that out with the different authors?
Anybody pretty much, but I try to use stories that kind of uplift and encourage, so those are the type of stories that I look for.
Wonderful.
So I have a particular interest there.
And I was reading that you do a lot of work with kids and communities and giving back.
I do. I actually have a book camp that I actually hold every Wednesday at Coretta Scott Youth Leadership Academy, where I teach young girls and young women how to write, edit, and publish their books. So it'll give them, do a wonderful boost for their self-esteem and also teach them entrepreneurship.
I love it.
Which I think is very important.
It is, I'm in the financial services industry, and it's so hard, as women, be out there and really make a difference and make an impact unless you're empowering each other, because so many women just fight tooth and nail to get up there. So when you have a group of women together, we're so much stronger. And I apologize, I have a cold. Hey, Mike. Are you there?
Yeah.
So me and Angela.
How you doing?
I'm gonna have Mike save me because I'm gonna mute myself and cough because I have a really bad cold. I'm so sorry. Hold on. Mike, are you there? I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I'm here, Cathy.
So, have you ever watched The Housewives of Atlanta?
I've watched it.
Oh, you're admitting to it. See, guys don't usually admit to it.
Yeah, I'm normally a lot, but I hear from it a lot, and I have family members that are very interested and good fans of the show. Definitely got a good supporting cast that supports the show as well.
Well, you have a new show. When is that coming out?
From the bottom up, can you turn this on over the phone? From the bottom up, it airs every Saturday night at 10.
See, look at that fits right in. Our show is the F word, by the way, and the F word is family, faith, friends, fun, football, philanthropy, which really isn't an F word, but I like to use it. But I love this. So, can we send anybody to your camps? Is there any way? I mean, they can go in. How does that work out?
Well, what we do is I kind of like hold the boot camp on select dates. I'm in the schools every Wednesday. But as far as like outside of the schools, you have to check on my website to see when I hold the boot camp. The next one that I'll be having in May, and it's not just for kids either. It's also for adults that want to learn how to write. But the scholarships are available for girls that are under that are 18 and younger.
I have some kids that I'm thinking of. Anything to do with helping children prepare for their future is so important to me. What about financial literacy? That's another thing I'm really passionate about. Are you doing that?
Yeah, financial literacy is very important, I think, as well. If someone has a book they want to get published about financial literacy, I'm all for it.
All right. I'm definitely want to do that. One of the things, excuse me, with my company, it's Hall of Fame Financial. What we do is we like to, work with professional athletes that are retired and try to keep them from being one of the statistics, because 78% of just NFL players are broke within 5 years. So by providing the education, the financial literacy ahead of time, I think we can help reduce those statistics. And it's not just the athletes, it's all of us. Because I don't know, when I went to school, nobody taught me how to balance a checkbook. They didn't talk about that stuff. So it's got to start somewhere. Sorry.
Right. That was the same way for me. I didn't learn much about it either, so I think that's important. I was just talking to a friend of mine about that earlier today, in fact.
Oh, I know, it's so sorry. Excuse me. It's so hard to, explain it. And when you come into a lot of wealth, everybody's got their hands out. And so you have to be able to really, take money aside, put it away, don't let anybody touch it. But it's hard to say no to people. So that's one of the things I'm focusing on. But Mike and I have a really exciting venture that we're starting. Mike, are we able to talk about that yet on the air?
No, we won't actually be able to. I'm sorry, but we won't be able to after May 1st.
Okay. Oh, dang it. But he does. Well, tell everybody about your league, the boxing and the MMA fighters.
Okay, well, first of all, with basketball, I was one of the first one of the youngest African-American owners of a sports franchise. Bought into a minor league basketball franchise at the age of 26. And I also own a global sports company where we focus on athlete branding, and I'm also advising for professional boxers as well as professional MMA fighters. And I can definitely agree with you on everything with the financial literacy side. It was something that wasn't even put in our education system, and that's the battle we have to this day right now. Just trying to make sure athletes understand how to manage their finances, make their money, make money, and not just think for now, think for 10 years from now, 20 years from now, and leave something for your children. And that's something that it gets missed because it's not taught in our education system.
Well, and it's not so much about leaving it for our children, but it's teaching our children how to earn it themselves and how to keep it. So that's one thing.
Yeah.
And Angela, what I like that you're doing though is getting in front of them, and I would love to be able to add to it with the financial literacy part of it. And another thing, I would love to have you speak on it with some of the people I work with. Oh, I'm so sorry. But I want to hear a little bit more about what your new book is about. Angela? Did I lose everybody? Is anybody there?
No, man.
Mike there? we lost? Greg's here. Mike, are you here? Well, Greg, how you doing?
That's it. Process of elimination, Cathy.
There we go. We lost 2 of them. 2 of them fell off.
That's it.
Well, there we go. Well, how are you?
I'm good. I can't complain.
Well, I would love for you to tell everybody on the air, excuse me, God, this cold is horrible, about you. Who are you? What do you do? And why?
I don't know what I do. I'm still trying to figure that out. For the last 11 years, we have a charity that deals with professional athletes and troops all over the world. We started 11 years ago, and all we do is we make things simple. I can't do anything unless it's simple. So we figured something out that was simple, and it just works. And that's pitting athletes against troops. Athletes love video games. Troops love video games, so we just put the 2 together, and we came up with Pro vs. G.I. Joe, which has been going on pretty successfully over the last 11 years. We have 23 NFL teams on board. I can't even imagine. I can't even count how many NBA teams. We do MMA, boxing. We do everything. And real simple, we go to locker rooms, stadiums, suites, anything, and all the athletes come down. They play the troops overseas or in person. And we're the only ones that can facilitate that online game. I mean, we're literally going straight to guys in Afghanistan. We even went to Syria with Johnny Damon at Yankee Stadium back in September. So Syria was like our Iraq 11 years ago.
How do you know all these people?
Well, when I first started, I played both for West Virginia, and a few of my friends were in the pros at the time, and my wife was overseas in Iraq, so she knew on the troop side. But on the player side, I knew a bunch of guys that were, again, who I played ball with, who were in the NFL, and that was my easy in. But once we did an event with one team, then it just steamrolled. So we have the contacts not only with the teams, but all individual athletes, which we have about 100, 150 athletes that we can call on almost on an hourly basis just to game with. The troops overseas, or now we have a company, Fun 14 Esports, which actually we have gaming opportunities a lot. And the gaming space is huge, right? The video gaming industry, the esports industry is just enormous. So all these athletes, which obviously grew up on video games, they want to do more, right? They want to get into gaming. We have one guy that's going into the draft, and 2 years ago he wanted to be a professional Halo player. So it's these kids have been brought up on video games, and video games is their life, their passion, and they just so happen to be these amazing professional athletes that are making it in the professional sports world. So why not do them both? And now the gaming opportunities that we have, it's so easy for them to do everything.
So I'm curious, how do they make money playing these games? Because I spent a lot of money as my kids were growing up.
Right, so it's a hard thing. If you're not into the space, it's a very hard thing to grasp. I'm going to say something that's just going to make completely no sense to you, but it is what it is. Like, this is the space that we're in. This is the world that we're living in. There's one kid, Drake, the rapper, just contacted one kid called Ninja. Ninja is a streamer, so he streams on Twitch, which is a live streaming gaming platform. Right, so all they're doing is streaming their game, and then they have a little box, like a Skype box, down on the corner, and that's them. So everyone's watching their game. So they did a stream now because of the amount of subscribers. So if you want to be a subscriber to Ninja's channel, his Twitch channel, you pay $4.99 a month, and he gets $3 out of it. So Ninja now, just on subscribers, is making $500,000 a month just on the subscribers. That's not including any appearances, sponsorship, partnerships. That's just on the people that want to watch them on a monthly basis. $500,000 a month. So I guarantee you, mark my words, in 2 years there's going to be some NFL players, NBA players that are going to stop playing their sport and they're going to become streamers and gamers.
That's amazing. So
it doesn't make any sense to you, does it?
No, it honestly does not. I still don't. I mean, Sega. I remember Sega. That's what I played, I think. My kids were little, and I played oh my God, what was that little guy? Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, so let me put things in perspective in terms of sports, right? So there's one tournament that's a League of Legends tournament. The cash pot, I think, was like $20 million. So they sold out Dallas Cowboy Stadium, just like the Dallas Cowboy does, right? So they sell out the stadium. this esports tournament sells out the stadium. Well, the Dallas Cowboys, and all they're doing is watching the game. The people in the audience are just watching the Jumbotron, watching the game. So Dallas Cowboys, they broadcast, and people in America watch it, of course, and sporadically throughout the world. Well, esports is worldwide. So when they broadcasted, it was like the viewership was about 4 below the Super Bowl in 2017. So it's worldwide distribution, and everybody's watching it worldwide. So you don't just have your local audience or your national audience. You have a worldwide audience. And it's going to be an Olympic sport within 4 years. And again, I guarantee you that there's going to be some real athletes, pro. And I was one of those guys that didn't consider these gamers athletes, but they are. They're actually training for what's work.
They were kind of the geeks, right?
They aren't anymore. They're not anymore. They're training. They're living in houses. They're working out. They're training 10 hours a day. It's serious business. It's not like the kid in his mother's basement anymore that's eating Cheetos. Right? It's a completely different level now. Obviously the gaming culture it'll always be, just different. But they're becoming what's popular, what's cool. So those kids that you thought were the nerds, now they're the popular kids.
Right. I mean, it is. It's gotta be nice to everybody because you never know. Someday they could be your boss.
That's it.
So I had that happen actually at this one company. We went to the same high school, and I didn't know him, but he always joked around that he asked me out to prom. He was the vice president. At least I wasn't mean to him. I just didn't know who he was. I didn't know he existed. So, So I want to go back. So when you tell me a little bit about, 11 years ago, you decided to start this. How did you get it going to begin with?
Well, the one thing is I wasn't a huge gamer, so I didn't really know too much about the online space. So with Xbox, they have Xbox Live. So if you have an Xbox, I have an Xbox, we can get on Xbox Live and we can play each other.
Okay.
So we try to bring, the concept was going to Iraq and then playing Xbox Live or any kind of online game with troops over here, or players over here. Well, I never went on Xbox Live or any kind of online game, so I didn't really know what that took. And obviously what that takes is a good internet connection, right? Mm-hmm. So just think, 11 years ago, do you think Iraq has a good internet connection?
I wouldn't think so at all. Because I know when my ex-husband was there, we could hardly call him.
Well, not a chance. So Microsoft tried to bring online gaming to the troops in Iraq in 2003, and even they couldn't do it. We were able to do it with the military internet, and that takes a lot of approvals, a lot of red tape that we had to deal with to get northern approval to get that access. You can imagine with the internet, we had to drop some ports in order to make that happen, but we did, and all the commands on the ground saw what it's doing for them, because we're not like a handshake tour. We're not a autograph session that a professional athlete comes to Iraq and they just sign an autograph and that's it. People that do our events, the troops that do our events, actually hang out with the guys. So it boosts morale like no other organization.
They become friends,
so they saw the value in it.
Yeah.
They become friends, right? Yeah, I mean, just imagine, if you're just hanging out with somebody, you talk them with, just shooting the crap with them for 45 minutes, you become friends too. So the commands saw the value, and then they allowed us to keep going. And it steamrolled from there. And now it's even bigger because, these athletes are getting younger and younger, and they just want a game. So what we do is even bigger. It's getting bigger. Typically small organizations like us, they fizzle out and die. Right. But we just been progressively, getting bigger and bigger. And we can do things. We've done things with nothing. So we know how to do it on such a shoestring budget. So we just make things happen no matter what.
I love that. I mean, and a lot of the troops are younger. I mean, my little boy just turned 19. Yeah. My little boy turned 19 today. Oh, he's one of the troops.
Years old.
I remember when that was drinking age. Oh my gosh.
It's still drinking age, isn't it?
No, it's 21.
Could be.
Right? He's in the service.
And you go to like the French bayous, you can drink when you're 14 years old down there.
Can you really? That's crazy.
Well, come on, it's the French down in New Orleans. They're a little backwards, but yeah, it's an happen to you. I can tell you when I went to school in West Virginia, no one worried about the drinking age.
No, well, typically they usually made everything there, right? Moonshine.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, I get
That's
my
right.
kinfolk is from Kentucky, so I can say it.
That's it.
You think about this. So you're 18, you join the service, but you can't drink. I don't like that. I mean, I don't want my
It
kids to
doesn't make
drink,
sense.
but
No,
it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense at all.
I mean, he
No,
can shoot guns. He can shoot guns, but he can't drink.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Rocket launchers, all these things.
You want to start a petition and stuff and get that fixed.
No.
You want to start it right here, right now.
Should we do it right now?
No.
No.
He's drinking anyway. I mean, I don't want to burst your bubble, but I'm sure he had a drink or two before.
No, I don't think so.
You think?
I really don't.
No?
No.
No?
He's one of those.
I didn't have my first beer until college.
Yeah, he goes to a Christian college. So, never mind.
Oh, wait a minute.
I went to a Christian school. Shh, don't, yeah. Never mind.
Come on.
I didn't even think about bad things until I went to a Christian school. Because they tell you all the things.
Right.
They tell you all the things not to do. So then you're like, well, now I want to kind of do that because you keep saying.
Exactly. That's it.
Okay, so you've got, what is your next event that you have coming up? Tell everybody. You know I know this stuff. I'm just asking you to tell everybody else.
Say it again?
I said, I know, but I just want you to tell everybody else.
So we're bringing a bunch of Wounded Warriors down to the Super Bowl in Dallas, and we're staying at a hotel. I got some professional athletes staying with us, so it's a big group, right? So we roll in a crew. So the crew is comprised of Wounded Warriors, our professional athletes, and me getting everyone's drinks and stuff. So we go to the hotel, everybody gets their own room, we have a gaming suite, we get the game, and then we all go to dinner and we all go to draft together. So it's just, we're doing everything together for 2 to 3 consecutive days. So when they leave that, they're not leaving with a draft experience, they're leaving with not only a draft experience, but friends with professional athletes, which is pretty cool.
The whole time now, so, you said Super Bowl, but you mean the draft party. The Super Bowl.
Did I say? The draft. Yeah,
everybody's welcome to come back up here. It's still just as cold as it was during the Super Bowl. Still have snow. Oh. But,
yeah, forget it.
How do you get that together? I mean, so you've got these connections with current players. I mean, people love that, but, I mean, how do you raise money to do this?
In 11 years, I really haven't focused on that, and obviously that's not the best part of business, or best business sense, but it's one of those things where I'm going to make it happen no matter what, right? So, and we've been doing that for 11 years. So we do, obviously it takes flights and hotels and all that stuff, so we have to raise about, I would say about 10, 15 grand.
Okay.
And we're just still trying to figure out that portion. But listen, say it again?
I said I would love to help you raise that for this. That's why I wanted to bring that up.
It'd be great. And the thing with us, the money, all the money that goes to us, you see right where your money's going, right? It's not going to go to lawsuits and stuff like other organizations go to lawsuits and lawyers and this and that. It's just us, right? So exactly if you're going to give money to the draft, you're going to see what that dollar goes, where that dollar goes, how far it goes, and that $1, $10, whatever the case is. It's going to give a lifelong experience that someone's going to talk about. So you're giving that experience. So it costs. It definitely costs. But for us, it's important to make things happen, but it's not really important to us. I was just on the phone with the Colts, and we're doing a few things with the Colts, and they asked me, well, what do you need? And I just said, listen, I'm coming in. Just tell me where your locker room is, and I'm coming in. And they, sometimes you don't get it because there's companies that are always about, okay, this is what we do. And then when you hook them, okay, it costs $10,000 for us. So when you have passion, you make things happen regardless of the dollars, right, behind you.
Right.
So we'll make it happen. It'd be a lot easier if they come in quick, because then we get on the flights, get on the hotels, all that stuff.
And where do you know the vets from?
There's a few guys that I've met around. There's a few vets that that I've kept in contact with. There's some guys that they need to be pulled out of their house, right?
Right.
Some of these wounded vets, they're unfortunately there's some that are going to be tied to their house, and that was a hard thing for me to swallow. And I always thought, listen, no one's going to be tied to their house. I'm going to get them out. And there's one in particular that we flew him down to Orange County, first time he's been on a plane since Iraq, and he had some pretty bad issues. But we got him on a plane and got out there, and unfortunately he went back, and he's back in the house. But he just has the issues that it just doesn't allow him to, and it won't, right? Therapy, it only goes so far with certain people. And so things like this, we can go online getting to them, but other guys that just need an experience, not just a fun experience, but need a lifetime experience. We're pulling a few guys that I know. There's a girl in San Diego. She's an amputee, and she loves sports, so she's coming. And then we're going to reach out to some other organizations too. You know them.
Right.
It's things like this that we have the connections and the ability to do things. So we also love to bring in other organizations that don't necessarily have the ability to do what we do, and use the vets that know them, and even get them some visibility too. So we're going to do that as well. So we'll probably bring in 10, 15 wounded vets.
That's wonderful. So if I had some vets here, how do I get them in touch with you? Is there a website they can go to? Can they sign up for
You
these
can go to my
things?
website, but listen, if any troops or one of the guys want to be a part of us, you have my cell phone, right?
Right.
It's easy access here. You call me, you figure it out. So we have a website. It's called jointforcesinitiative.org. But if you want a game, you want to have the experience that we can provide, you just call me.
Well,
we don't have an assistant. We don't have that, so you call me directly.
okay, so learning how to play these games, like you said, you have these workshops, boot camps, actually. So who teaches that? Is that you? How does that work?
So
let's pretend, Greg. Let's pretend you have me with my cold that I just got today. Thank you. I took cold medicine for it. And it sounds terrible. I'm going to sit down and I'm as dumb as they get, and you're going to be able to teach me? Or does everybody have some level of experience with it that comes in?
I'm not going to teach you anything. I barely know the buttons even 11 years in. But we bring in the best. So just like anyone, the only way to learn is to learn from the best. We bring in the best gamers to teach the gaming. We bring in the best streamers to teach the streaming. We bring in the best esports hosts if we're going to teach hosting. So we bring in the professionals on their side. To teach whatever we're going to do. Like the draft, we're going to bring in some gamers. And not only is it a cool experience learning from the best in the gaming industry, but you're actually going to get to play with them. So you're playing with a different type of professional athlete, but another professional athlete in a game that you love.
Right.
But they're learning from the best. And when you learn from the best, all you need in gaming is like little tricks, right? We did a esports love camp with Microsoft at their studios in New York City. Brought like 15 NFL guys, some WWE chicks or divas, and we had a pretty big crew, and they learned from the best. And it was funny. They thought they were really good in the locker room, and once they got with our gamers, all it took was 10 minutes to get 10 times better.
Wow.
Because all they know is the little tricks that these pro gamers know, and then they can go back to the locker room and they're going to destroy everyone just by sitting down with a pro gamer for 10 minutes and learning the ins and outs.
Wow. That is, this world that we're in right now, what about like cryptocurrency? Do they deal in that, all these gamers? I'm trying to figure out how they make the money. It's just mind-boggling to me.
Well, they make the money on streaming. They make the money, they get paid salaries in order to be on these teams. So you have like an Optic Gaming or Rick Fox has a team called Echo Fox. He pays all his players a salary just like any other sports franchise. So it's like any other team. All the players are paid a salary and they get a cut of the winnings. So if they win, there was a Gears of War tournament in Vegas a year ago, $250,000 purse. Each of the 5 players went home with $46,000 or whatever it was, and that's on top of the salary. So, but all that is a side of it's definitely it supplements them. But the big thing is their streams. So they make the most money on their streams.
That's great.
Just streaming out and gaming.
I need my son to learn that. He would love it. Okay.
But it takes a lot of time. You can't just be a streamer. You have to stream. If you're going to be a streamer, you're a streamer for 6 to 8 hours. That's a full-time job.
That is a full-time job.
You got to take it serious. If you're going to get paid, you got to take it serious.
Exactly. So, speaking of getting paid, what is it that you do outside of this for you?
For me?
For you. What is that? I know, when you're a parent, how does that work?
Yeah, it's, I have 2 kids, unbelievable kids, and, I'm a football coach. I do everything with them. I mean, you talk about a passion. When you have a passion, I mean, that's it right there. Just taking care of those kids. But outside of that, I have a foster care ministry, so we deal with foster kids.
You do?
We do that in Orange County, which is, it's awesome, right? So I started a ministry at my church, and it's a pretty big church. And unfortunately, you see some red tape, it's like any corporation. So I kind of was like, all right, listen, I want to just hang out with these kids. Forget, bringing them here on Tuesday, forget bringing them on campus. I'm going to go straight to them. And we've been going straight to them on a weekly basis. There's some time, that we don't go, but we try to get there as much as possible and just go and hang out with these kids. And that's what they need, right? These kids need, the only thing they don't have a lot.
Right.
The one thing they definitely don't have is consistency. So me just being there on Christmas, me being there on Thanksgiving, they don't get it. They don't understand why I'm there, but they'll understand it at one point, right? They'll understand Greg's here. I don't know why he's here, but he's here. So there's something about that. There's something about me, why he wants to come back. And that's why we do what we do when it comes to that stuff. But it's an incredible thing to be a part of, but it hurts, right? You don't go, and I always, I speak the truth, right? And we get a group from church, and they all come in, and I gather them and say, listen, if you're going to leave this, you're not going to leave this place excited. People think you're going to be excited because you just did something for a foster kid. And that to me is just not the way serving is. It's just not what serving is about. You're supposed to do it, so let me just back up. So you go into, and you see these kids in a bad situation. There's no one that can leave that is truly there for the right reason with a full heart, right? You're leaving with a broken heart because you see you're not leaving look what I just did. I hung out with foster kids. I'm a good guy. I'm a good girl. I'm going to post it on Facebook. It's not like that. Like you go into, it's supposed to break you, because the only way to actually make change is to be broken at some point, and then try to fix up and try to pick up the pieces and see what you can do moving forward. And it's just that you break all the time. I mean, listen, there's definitely there's some good things. I mean, there's some good moments. There's no doubt. We've had, some good moments that it'll break anyone down. Just really, really positive, happy moments. But overall, these kids are in a bad situation, and you're leaving them and going home with your own kids. Now, I don't feel guilt, but it's something that definitely breaks your heart every time you leave, for sure.
Greg, you know what that does for them, though? It's an F word. It's faith. They have faith. I mean, they're seeing your love and understanding and starting to, go, wow, okay, this is what it's like for people of faith. But, they believe in me. You believe in me. I believe in me. I mean, it starts to turn it around. My son went to an organization called Treehouse, and it's a youth organization. It's faith-based. And he's my one that's not drinking in the Christian college, I guarantee it.
Right.
But he got such a good experience there. I mean, and it's having other adults in your lives that are there, that they know they can count on, and seeing that does actually truly exist. Because so many of us will go help.
And the thing,
and we walk away.
We've been pushed at the church, so, because I do have my faith, and it obviously was started through the church. But I don't push, people always want to push Bibles and want to push Bible verses, and that to me, these kids aren't ready for it. They don't want that, because it can be awkward, at some point. Some people don't think it is, but a lot of people think that's an awkward conversation. So for me, my thing is, I'm going to go in, I'm going to be consistent, I'm going to be me, and I'm going to hang out with these kids, they're going to love me, and they're going to love them, and then down the road, they're going to say, what's so different? What's so different about Greg? Well, there's something. I want that.
Right.
they're going to realize what that is, and that's the faith, and that's when you're building faith organically, as opposed to it being shoved in your face, right?
Right.
That's just not a natural way. Even kids have the opportunity, to do things for themselves and to think for themselves, and they have to, right? Because that's the only way that a true foundation, especially a faith foundation, can be built. It's organically. You can't have that just pushed down your throat.
Right. No, you can't. It's lead by example. Lead by example. My youngest one time said to his older brothers, like, "Oh, well, I guess you're not going to go to heaven, Mama." And it was horrible that he said it. It broke my heart. But that's, something. I said, that's not how you get them to think your way. You have to make them want to be more like you by how you act. That's not how you want to act. But I mean, it's amazing. When he was down at Fort Benning, it was probably, as a mom, one of the proudest moments I'd ever seen. But we were walking around in, I forget the name of the town by Fort Benning, but there was a young man playing the banjo. His case out. Sorry. And he stopped, and we both listened to him for a little bit. We put money in, and we walked away. And Mason stopped, and he says, "I have to go back." And he witnessed to him. He sat and talked to him, and he just said, somebody told me to come back and talk to you. And then he gave him the rest of the money that he had in his wallet. And this young man just cried, and I just witnessed something so amazing. So it's, no matter where you are, when you make a difference. So I'm hoping, I prayed right there that, it touched him. And I think it will, and someday. I don't know if it did immediately, but I think it will.
It doesn't have to.
No.
It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to hit him immediately, as long as it's in there, and it'll come out, for sure.
That's so wonderful. And when you are, like you said, you don't do what you do when these organizations ask you how much you need. But it's literally making sure you have to be able to give, to have these experiences happen. I'm going to sneeze.
Right.
I'm so sorry. Sorry not to. But, well, I know, this is horrible. It literally just came on tonight.
Oh, that's the worst when you can't sneeze.
I know.
Come on, you can do it. Look up. Look up at the light.
Look at the light. It's not going to come. It's not going to come. This is ridiculous.
Oh,
literally.
That's such a brutal feeling. It's terrible.
Oh, Lord. I swear. I honestly think I have allergies. We have such cold, awful weather. We just had another 10 inches of snow. And I am so tired of off and on with cold medicine because it just whacks me out.
Yeah.
But, so your military experience. So my ex-husband, everybody's heard me talk about this because it's something I'm really passionate about, and that's helping our vets. PTSD it runs rampant. I can't imagine somebody not having it. Not anymore. Can you?
Yeah, from our experiences, and I talk to some psychiatrists, and they say everybody that's in a combat situation, or even over in Iraq, Afghanistan, even sometimes in Kuwait, if you're over there, you're going to come back with some sort of beat. Unfortunately, I have not a skewed view on that. It's if you tell somebody you have PTSD and you're ingraining that in their head, they will. And that kind of can impede on them moving forward in some things, but there is no doubt. And I was, I got to be honest, and this is probably not the best thing to say about, a president of a nonprofit that deals with troops, is I was very jaded with the whole PTSD issue.
Right.
There was a lot of people that I know that were, a friend of mine, that was in one of our programs said, "Listen, Greg, I got shot in the leg, I got a bullet in my leg, I got 30% for it, and I don't have any other issues, but I'm going to claim PTSD, and I got bumped up to 100. Now, he didn't have it, but he bumped up to 100 because he got money for it. And that to me is just not right. On the opposite side, I have somebody that's 100% disabled and, pretty bad shape, PTSD, depression, all, the whole nine, and has seizures. and he's working his way down, right? He's, when he goes to, get reevaluated and all that good stuff, he wants to go bump down, because it's not about money for him. It's about not being disabled. Because
it's about quality of life.
These guys and girls, it's quality of life. They don't want to be considered disabled. And unfortunately, some of these organizations, and I know everybody has their opinions, and opinions are like what, but, I feel like some of these organizations just do a disservice to the guys and girls that are hurt, because there's just a lot of handouts, right? It's just a lot of handouts, and it doesn't do anything for them. But I was jaded for sure because of those few instances that I know. But then I met a friend of mine that's became a good friend of mine, and there was one point where we had 10 wounded guys down in Newport Beach. We were doing 2 days with Tito Ortiz as part of a rehab with the Drew program, and he was just zoned out in the back of his truck. And it was for the first time that I saw, what somebody that came back from, he was an EOD guy in Iraq, and his issues were written all over his face when he gets into his zone, right? He was back there at that moment, and that kind of, put things into perspective for me, that PTSD, number one, is real. It's as real as you can get. And it affects everybody different, right? It can affect one person, and this is a learning lesson, because there's some people that think you can only have PTSD if you're in combat, or you can only have PTSD if you're a sniper, or this or that. But I have a friend that was a sniper that he got was a Purple Heart with Valor, but he got injured right before. He was a sniper, 200 yards out, and he shot, 40 people and pinged off everyone, and he, but it was like, it didn't affect him, right? It didn't affect him how another friend of mine just saw somebody get shot, and it completely debilitated him. It just derailed him. So it's just, everybody's different.
Right.
They say the strongest form of PTSD comes when you're in a car accident. So that stuff it's real, right? And again, it's been a learning curve for me, but it's not on a daily basis. Somebody can be completely put together and have everything going for them, but has PTSD, and it can just all of a sudden Monday at 3:30 in the afternoon, boom, it hits you.
Right.
And those thoughts are real, and it's really hard to figure them out, especially if you don't know how to cope and gone through the therapy in order to just deal with it.
Well, and that's what's hard too, because a lot of people don't know that they can get the help, and PTSD isn't, right, it's not just military. It's, the family of military, I think they call it secondary PTSD. I mean, my kids and I, we had to live through hell. It was really difficult, but we didn't know how to handle it. We walked on eggshells. And still to this day, sadly, we got divorced, but we all still have, we have our own triggers,
Yeah, sure.
So,
and that's a very unfortunate thing. But it's like, PTSD, alcoholism, all that stuff. The people that are affected most, not so much the alcoholic or the person that has it's the family, right? Because they don't know how to deal with it, and they're dealing with and having to live with this, and again, it's the person with PTSD or alcoholism. They don't want to be like that, but unfortunately they are.
That's how they're coping.
Before they get help, and the family, the family needs it's harder. I would never say it's harder for the family, but there's so many instances that you can easily say who's affected more, the family or the person, and typically it's the family, especially when you're dealing with kids. It's so unfortunate, that they have to even go through that. I would love to say that all these kids that are going through it are going to be strong on the other end, but unfortunately that's just not the case, right? Not everything makes you stronger, right?
No, that's right.
It can. No, so it's tough for these kids.
It can make you jaded. It can make you, so many different things. But okay, so thinking about the events that you do, we could do some events for the families, right?
Yeah, we've done a lot. With the Cardinals, we always bring the families in. We even with the guys who are overseas, guys and girls who are overseas, we can get the families connected to them. But we do a lot with the families. But we do a lot, not only military families, but we're doing something with the Giants and families with kids with cancer. So it's a lot of things that we're doing on the gaming spectrum. But kids are what we always like to hit. So if somebody says we have a potential event some kids, we're all in.
Oh, right. Me too. Me too.
You know, but yeah, I mean, doing the events for the kids, it's great.
So I think, oh, good Lord, this could be a long night for me. Sorry, everybody. I usually have a voice for radio. I swear I do. Not tonight. So tonight I have a face for radio. How's that? No. So when you've got your next event, I'm just thinking, I want to get some more people aware of what you're doing. I really do, Greg. Can I post some things out there and get an awareness so they know what you're doing so they can donate money? Is there a place they can go to donate to help pay for these?
On our website. So you go on the website, everything's there.
Okay.
You know, for sure. There's links there that you can see what we do. You can see the locker room activity, all the guys that we have. So everything's there. I don't know how updated it is.
Okay. Well, okay. So like you told me, you're doing all that yourself. You know, we can get people to volunteer to help with that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, listen, if somebody wants to build a site and you want to be part of what we're doing, listen, if I was able to create a website, I want to create ours. You know, it's cool, right? And you're creating things that professional athletes are going to be part of. I mean, it's just awesome. So yeah, for sure.
Well, there's interns out there that are, sports writing interns or sports management interns that would love to be able to help with something like that. So we'll check on that. And anybody out there listening, make sure you get a hold of us. And, we'd be happy to get you in touch with Greg and see if you can do that. You know what? I'm going to do this, and I hate to do this, but I'm going to have a sneezing attack. I'm going to cut us a little short, my friend. And
listen, you got to do it.
I got to call it a night. I have no voice. It's going to go away. I had to leave work early today because I started getting the headache thing. So, yeah, this is getting ridiculous, and I don't want to make anybody else suffer more than me by listening to me. So I have some choice F words for how my voice is tonight, which is really effed up. I don't like it. But Greg, thank you so much. I just totally love what you do. Would love to work on collaborating some different things. And, our friend Ryan at Rush University, what he's doing, I bet you anything, you've got some vets out there that could use some service dogs. I love that part of what they're doing. Because, man, it's helping the dogs and the vets. So, everybody,
I agree.
F this voice of mine in this cold, and have an effing great week. And we'll talk to you next week. Greg, thank you again.
All right, we'll see you.
Good night.